I'm happy for you. I'm sure been stressful, but in terms of just uh, how long you waited to make your decision. I know that deadline was 11 p.m. You got pretty close there. I guess what was there a certain thought process behind that? Waiting for a team to give you a call, anything like that?
Most of it was kind of out of my control. So I worked out for the Jazz yesterday morning. Got done with that workout about it was probably 1 or 1:30 Mountain Time. And then got on a flight and had to go through Detroit. And I was trying to talk with my agents and talk with my family to kind of finalize things after the Jazz workout. Um, Sorry about that. But then my Wi-Fi wasn't working on my plane. Like it kind of went out, and it was like we ended up being in the air for way longer than we were supposed to because of storms. And then got there, had like a 5-minute layover uh getting to my gate to go back to Des Moines. So I just didn't really have time. And then the Wi-Fi didn't work on the next one either, just because it was a smaller flight. So I literally just posted it right when I landed in Des Moines, basically.
Next question is from David Eichholt.
Peyton, good to see you. I know you're probably still trying to catch up on sleep. I had similar layover troubles getting back a couple days ago with the storms and stuff.
Yeah.
So with everything that happened, I mean, what was the most surprising part about the entire journey? Was it pretty much what it was being described to you as, or how would you kind of just open up about just the whole process of how everything else unfolded?
Yeah, I think it was a really, eye-opening experience. I learned a lot of, very valuable things and met a ton of really cool people along the way. The travel is really no joke. Like, I mean, you're going city to city for about a month, and I think I was in a hotel room like 18 or 19 straight nights. So, I mean, it was a ton of fun, learned, kind of what it takes to be a pro and, felt comfortable making the jump. But at the end of the day, just felt the pull to come back home.
Chad Leistiko.
Hey Peyton, in Waukee right now myself at an auto center.
Nice.
I'm trying to get my car fixed. What you said you worked out for how many teams did you work out for, and like what was the most prominent feedback that they said you could work on back in college that could maybe help you going into next year?
Ended up working out for 5 teams. So before the combine, I went to Atlanta and Boston, and then after I went straight to LA from the combine, and then worked out for the Clippers there. Then went to work out for the Warriors. Interviewed with the Lakers while I was there, and then flew home for the Memorial Day weekend, and then went out to Utah a couple days ago. Um, Hold on just a sec. I think we're good. All right. So after that, what was the second part of the question? Sorry.
Well, just yeah, what did they say? What was the predominant feedback of what you could work on maybe this coming season for the Hawkeye in college that can help you next year in the process?
Yeah, a lot of it was, centered around athleticism and you know, they know that's not what's going to get me drafted. That's not like, what makes me special. So a lot of it honestly came down to, just being able to continue to shooting on the move. And obviously the NBA line's a lot further back. So, shooting from deeper ranges, well beyond that line too. And just being really comfortable getting into your shot in a lot of different ways, which, I've always prided myself on being able to do that. But, at the end of the day, you can always improve. And I mean, the guys in the NBA do it at the best level in the world. So, continuing to work on that, continuing to, find ways to maximize my athletic potential is all very important.
Elliot.
So you mentioned you learned a lot. I imagine that kind of falls into that category of like what you can continue to get better at in at this next year coming back to Iowa. But what are some of those things that you learned maybe other than that over the process?
Yeah, I think, my basketball, I mean, obviously basketball is one thing, but there's a whole nother thing with, the kind of the culture side of the NBA and, meeting with different people, how to be confident in yourself and all those different, interview situations and, meeting with people you've seen on TV for years and how you interact with the other players. I mean, the basketball style was a lot different at the combine than, that I'm used to. And even in some of the workouts, you have to, it's much less, team focused and trying to win and more so, trying to figure it out on your own, which is, I mean, it's obviously a big learning curve. And That's kind of what everybody says. And, there's a ton of stuff, I could talk about basketball wise, but, just being comfortable in your own skin is really probably the most important thing that I learned.
Mike Kloss.
Peyton, I guess June workouts are pretty soon. What can you tell us about the team that you're going to be on this coming winter? I mean, how good do you think it can be?
Yeah, I think, I'm very, very excited about this team. Going into last year was always kind of, I mean, obviously you want to be as successful as possible. We always kind of saw it as a growth year, and a ton of young guys and guys that really came in and, did what they were supposed to do, especially at the end of the year. We really came together for that last stretch down the stretch of the season. And, the new guys, I haven't gotten a chance to talk with, many of them, but I've talked with Drew a lot, and I've heard, great things about him, and the freshmen coming in, I've heard a ton of great things about them. But then, just the core that we're bringing back, and, expecting Owen to make a huge jump, and Josh to be, one of the best players in the Big Ten, which I think, he can be. And, Brock will continue to be a tremendous leader, and he's going to make a huge jump. I'm super excited for him. And, my brother and Logi, all those guys, and even guys, that you don't expect. I think Riley could have a big year. Evan, there's gonna be so many guys that, make huge jumps, and I'm so excited about, just being with that team and being able to lead these guys. And, coach is gonna have a good plan, and, I fully trust what we're gonna do. So I think the sky's the limit, and, that's gonna be the goal, and that's gonna be the expectation, starting whenever we start. I don't even know the date.
David.
Yeah, Peyton, I guess take me through when you actually made the final decision. Was there one or two factors that really just kind of drew you back to Iowa? And when did you get the chance to tell Fran, and how that conversation go, and what was his response?
Yeah, it wasn't really just one conversation. It's been about probably 50 over the last 3 or 4 days with, numerous different people. Feels like I've been on the phone every second that I've been actually like on the ground, talking with my family, trying to figure it out. And my gut feeling was always to go back. And, there was, there actually, was a lot of very positive feedback from NBA teams, with a pick range and stuff like that. But, just I mean, you just kind of go with the feeling. It's kind of what I've always done with my career, and it's always, helped me with the best decisions. And, I just didn't know if I could leave behind, that feeling of regret of not getting to play with Price one more year, and not seeing this thing out because of, what I believe that we've helped build at Iowa.
Chad.
Oops. Is there anything you would do differently? I'm just kind of curious, like, you probably went into this thinking like, oh man, I hope it works out. And I'm, by the end of May, I'm like prepping for the draft, and I'm guessing, you would want to go into this process and like, oh, I've definitely got this next step planned. So is there like anything you would change that maybe could have gotten to that point, I guess, and how you progressed here that maybe you can take with you next year?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything that I would change about the process. I think I learned so much, especially in basketball, but, about myself as a human being. And I would say, just continue to learn, continue to grow. And I think, that's what has gotten me to this point in my career at Iowa, is just continuing to learn and grow. And, I'll continue to do that when I do get to the NBA. But, I wouldn't change a thing. Just work hard. If there was one thing, maybe trying to, find some free time outside of basketball, because life became all basketball, and I wasn't good at separating it. But yeah, there's nothing you can really complain about. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I learned a ton, and it'll be great for going forward.
What are you going to do real quick? What are you going to do to relax now? Are you going to take a little time off? Are you going to golf, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, probably going to golf this afternoon. I probably won't touch a basketball till I go to campus, to be completely honest, because I didn't get much off time after the season, and the end of that season was a grind. Every game was like life and death, and straight into, tough workouts every day. So it'll be nice just to relax and see some family.
Elliot.
Peyton, how'd the staff react when they found out that you were going to come back? Because obviously, I mean, last year you guys lost quite a bit of leadership, and then there would be that void again coming into this year. Obviously, led the team in scoring and all those factors. But like, how did the staff react when you told them that you were going to come back?
Yeah, I think everyone's very excited about this team, and I think they would have been excited, regardless of whether I was here or not. But everyone kind of knew that, there's a lot of younger guys, and I'd kind of, established myself as one of the leaders on the team last year. So going into this year, they were really hoping I'd come back and be the leader that this team needs, and kind of set us over the edge of, from being a good to great team. And, I think everybody's super excited about it. And, I told them to just hold me to a very high standard, and I'll do the same for all the other players. And I expect that out of everyone, to hold each other accountable. So I'm super excited for the opportunity. And, I think they know this is going to be a special team and a special year. So it'll be a lot of fun.
I'm sorry to interject one quick question here on that. I guess how much of a pull was that for you to come back to lead a team that has so much potential going into next season?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I made the decision for myself, but it was obviously in my mind, and I knew what we had kind of built up at the end of last year on the run that we went on, and I feel really good about coming back. Feel really good about my chances to continue to move up and increase my stock, as well as accomplish all the college goals I have, and make it to places that we haven't been yet in my career at Iowa, and I'm super excited for that opportunity.
David?
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback off that, Peyton. I think I remember talking to you at the start of last season in the off season, and you mentioned that right when your sophomore year ended, you knew that you were going to be one of the guys and have to step up in the leadership room. I guess, what'd you learn about stepping up in that leadership role from last year that'll help you this year? And then obviously no Patrick, no Tony. Like with you back, it's pretty clear that you're probably going to be the number one voice in the locker room. So I guess, how did last year help prepare you for the role that you're going to have this year?
Yeah, I think I've been, preparing for the majority of my career, for this opportunity. I've always kind of prided myself on being a leader, but, I learned a ton about, what it takes to really develop relationships with guys on a level that they can trust you. And, once you have that trust established, and then you can show that, that you're going to be one, like the hardest worker, then everyone follows. And, I think that's kind of how you said it, is just, develop that relationship one-on-one, develop it as a team. And then, if I play as hard as I can every single day and give everything, then I can expect that from everyone else with the trust that I've developed. I think, that's when leadership can be special. And, I'm going to need other guys to step up too. I think Drew's going to be a great leader. I think Brock has it within him. And obviously Owen, Josh, they've done it, so they can lead. But I mean, I'm super excited. I think, this team will come together really well.
All right, here your final question, Peyton. Mike Kloss. Oh,
Gary.
you're muted, Mike. There we go.
Sorry about that.
All good.
It's only my 1000th Zoom. Is there one thing that you saw or that you heard that somebody told you or that you learned that sticks out in your mind from this last month?
Yeah, I would say that, the only way that you can make it, and especially, in the NBA, but in anything you do in life, is be as confident, be as or more confident than anybody else in the world. And that's something, that I've worked on and I feel very comfortable in, but, it's going to continue to grow. And ultimately that'll be the thing that, helps me make it in not only in getting this team to heights we haven't reached, but also, personally, making the league someday, and sticking in the league.